Okay, so if your techs are busy all day, but your profits aren't moving, then what I want to show you here is how much time are they spending, on the road. And so I'll show you exactly how travel time can eat your capacity. And so where it's coming from geographically, and also how to fix it without hiring more techs. And so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get a unique list of the service area. And so if you look at the data set here, we have a service area way over here in column D. And if you want this data set, there's a link in the description. Just let me know, and I can send it over your way. Okay, so to get a unique list, and what I mean by that is we don't want the word south here, multiple times. Essentially, you could type it in because in this example it's just northeast, southwest. But I want to show you. It is a tutorial, right? So the unique function will do just that. It'll remove all the duplicates in that column. And so equals unique, and then click on service area zone, control shift and the down arrow, and that'll give you a list of all of your unique zones. So then you can just press control C and then control shift V. And what that's going to do is that's going to remove the formula. And the reason we want to do that is because after creating this chart, we want it to be smallest to largest here. So we got that. The next thing we want to do is travel time percentage. Okay, so we need to figure out here we have a start time and we have an end time. So that's going to be your total time for this job, attributed to this job. And what it is just the sum of these three numbers. But I'm going to show you how to do this because your export from Service Titan or from whatever software you're using is going to probably have timestamps. If it doesn't, then you should add that. So what you do is you just subtract these two. So equals this minus this. And then you get 202. And what that is those are hours. So you need to multiply this times 60. You can multiply it times 60 times 60, but you also need to multiply it times 24 because it's 60 minutes times 24. And that's going to give you the number of 122 minutes. So it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. The problem is, the reason why I said by 60 is because I saw 2 hours and 2 minutes. But so that times 60 would be 60 times 2 hours, which is 120 plus 2 minutes. But that's not right. So what this is, it's formatted as a time. But if you press Control Shift 1, what it really is it's 0.0847% of a day. And so we need to multiply that times the number of minutes in a day, which is 24 hours in a day times 60, 22. And that's what this formula is here. It's times 1440, but 24 times 60 is 1440. And so now what we want is we want this divided by this, but we're not going to do it for each row. We're going to sum the total travel minutes and then divide it by the total paid minutes for the service area zone. And we're going to do it all in the same formula. And so you can see the formula up here is already doing it, but I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing we want the numerator, the top of the fraction, essentially, which is going to be the travel time by zone. And so we're going to do equals sum if s, go all the way over here, do travel minutes, comma, and then we want service area zone D, comma, and then we want to do the south zone, right? And that's going to give you the number of minutes. So in other words, for the south zone in the data set, there were 8,487 minutes traveled. But here, the next thing we want to do is we want to divide this by paid minutes. So just to save some time, I'm going to divide it by the same thing. We're going to get 1, but all we have to do is we have to take the travel minutes. So column U, we need to change to column AD for paid minutes. So U becomes AD, and now you have a percentage. So just like that. And so pretty straightforward. Now if you just click anywhere in here and you go to insert and then you go to, you can do recommended and then say you like this type of bar chart. And then what we want to do is we want to sort these. It's sort of counterintuitive, but if you want the smallest value on the top, you need to sort largest to smallest. And so click on the values, go to data, and then largest to smallest. This always, yeah, see how this just like messes up here? I don't know why it does this, because it does it like every single time. But essentially you have to just fix the formula here, and then, yeah, so now it's working. Sometimes when you drag down, the numbers change, and then they're still tied to the wrong cells, but now it's working. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, just so I could have something a little bit more like extreme, like showing more variance, I'm gonna change the bounds. So the lower bound, I'm gonna put at 18% X. So just double click here, and then you'll see the three little bars. So we're gonna change it to 0.18, and then 0.26 is automatically done. And if you want to remove the decimals, just again double click, go to number under the three columns. Okay, so we have that. What I'll do is I'll change the title just to match this. And instead of typing it out, I'll just copy it. And then I'll make it smaller. Okay. All right. So the next thing we want is just like we did a unique list of this, we want the same thing. We want a unique list of the technician names. So it's the exact same way to do it, just a different column. So equals unique, and then unique, click on tech name, hold down Control, Shift, and the down arrow, and then press Enter, and then you're good. And then you can highlight Control C, Control Shift V, and then what we can do here is you can just highlight this, press Control C, and then right click ST. So right click ST. And then what you're doing is the T stands for transpose, and so you're putting it from a column into rows across. All right, so here we're going to be doing the exact same thing, just adding another criteria. So instead of doing, the total travel minutes by south divided by the total paid minutes by south, we're going to add one more criteria: the total travel minutes by south and Carlos Martinez divided by the total paid minutes for South and Carlos Martinez. So the first thing is, again, sum FS. So we want to sum the travel minutes here, comma, and then we want to do the technician name here, comma, and then go to Carlos Martinez, and then we're done here. No, we actually need to. We're not done. We need to add the zone. So then go to the zone, which is over here, column D, comma, and then south. And so now you have the minutes, but we don't want that. We want to divide this. What I'm going to do is by the same thing, just to save some time, but it's going to be, again, it's going to be 1, but now we want to change the travel minutes U again to, zoom in, to AD here. So just change U to AD, AD. And now you have the percent. The problem here now is if we try to drag this over, we're going to get errors. And the reason is because U, as we drag over, it's also dragging that column. It's taking U and it's changing U to V. It's changing M to N, B to C, right? So you can see all that here. So we need to figure out a way to tell Excel, like, hey, if I drag this over, I want Carlos Martinez to stay the same, but if I drag it down, I want Carlos Martinez to go to Marco, but I want South to stay the same. So it's called absolute and relative referencing. So the first thing is wherever you see a column, a full column, like U and just letters, click in there and press the F4 key. Just keep pressing the F4 key. Or you can go in and type dollar signs before the letters. That's fine. But F4 just makes it easier. And then wherever you see the blue, we want to lock the column. So when we drag it left to right, Carlo stays the same. And so you put the dollar sign before the letter B. And then for the red, south, as we drag it down, we don't want it to change. But as we drag it over, we want south to go to west, right to go to north. And so you just put the dollar sign in between the letter and the number. Okay, so if I know what I'm doing, this should work. So copy and then paste, and you have everything here. And so now what we want to do is the final thing is we want to set an upper bound. Let's make it 25%. And you can put it wherever you want, 25%, and then we can just narrow this a little bit. Okay, so just highlight the range and then go to home, conditional formatting, highlight cells less than, and then click on that cell. And then you got, your bounds. So 30%, right? There's none, 20%, 15%. So you can just play around with it that way. And then if you want to add the word upper bound, then press Control 1, go to custom, and then here you already have the percent. So just click to the left of the 0 there, and then, or to the right, however you want to do it. But you can just type in upper bound, maybe do a colon, space. And then if you want to do to the tenths decimal, or I guess it'd be the, I don't know, thousandths decimal because it is a percentage, you can just add that 0. And now you can change this to where it still comes out as a number. But you might not need to be as granular as, 0.5%. But anyways, that's how you can calculate travel time percentage. And so, as always, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, questions@databoards.io. And also, if you find that your data isn't structured in a usable format, then in the description there's a form or a link to a form, and you can just click on it and set up a time to chat with me, and I can look over and maybe be of some assistance to you guys. And so yeah, again, if you want the file, link in the description. If you want to hop on a call, link in the description. And other than that, I will see you in future videos.